Rhina.
I'm Yanni.
And you are whining with the big girl.
I have failed so many times in life, but people didn't realize I was failing false.
I want to take over the world.
Good conversation. Behind the scenes when it comes to modeling. So I'm always very curious of like what goes down, like what's tea?
There be so much happening, especially like backstage. I did have a best friend that was light skinned, and sometimes she would even say things to me like, oh, he doesn't like you because you're too dark, or like, oh, you can't wear that because your skin is too dark, or oh, when we go out, you know, you should probably, like, she would just make comments. You have to have that confidence in your walk, in your stature, in your face. Give that energy up every time you present yourself on that runway. You're eating it up every time.
Hey guys, welcome to season 2 of the Rynakinggpodcast. My name is Rhina, your host. Today I'm really excited to have our very first guest. She is a model, an entrepreneur, a creative director, a real estate agent. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But please, you guys, join me in welcoming Miss Shelly, aka Bombshell Shelly. Hey, Mom. How are you? I am good. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I remember when I met you the first time, I was like, yeah, I got to get her in the interview. I need to get to know Shelly a little bit more because you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Very multifaceted, very talented.
Thank you, yes.
Y'all, so one of the things that you do is modeling. That's what you're known for, even though you do other things like real estate, creative directing. Please tell me the other things that you do.
Oh my gosh, the resume is long. But yeah, I do behind the scenes for like different influencers. I do creative direction, set design, event coordination. I have 2 creative collectives. I'm in real estate, and I went to school for communications and PR and marketing, and so that definitely intertwined with all the things that I do.
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
definitely does. Y'all, I love seeing Black women educated and thriving out here, and that's literally you're a representation of that, and I love that for you.
Thank you.
So, like, what got you into modeling? What inspired your career in modeling?
Oh my gosh. So I remember being in my like early teens, really enjoying like dressing up and just taking pictures. And actually, even going back before my teens, just growing up, I was like the only child that had like a whole photo album filled with pictures.
Really?
Yeah, so like me and taking pictures, we go together real bad. Like I'm the friend that's always like, take out the camera, let's take a picture. But then I got into like, finding my own sense of style, like dressing up. And so I would always take pictures then. And then I remember seeing like a magazine in the grocery store and seeing Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell.
It's always Tyra Banks.
It's always Tyra and it's always
Naomi.
Yes, I remember seeing them. I didn't really know who they were at the time. Then I started watching America's Next Top Model, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this. You know? So I was like, let's just go for it. And that's when it started.
I love that. You know what's so funny? I also thought I was going to be a model at some point because I was such a tall teenager. But, obviously that didn't happen. But Tyra Banks and America's Next Top Models were like my go-to.
Yes.
And I would just like walk. I'm like, yeah, I can do this.
I'm the next Naomi. Like, what do you mean?
Maybe in my next life I'll be a top model, but not right now.
I'll pray for it.
But like, also like watching America's Next Top Model, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel a lot of pressure. Like Tyra Banks is harsh, and like it just also shows you how hard the modeling industry is. So you being in the modeling industry, like how have you like overcome any challenges? Have you faced any challenges, and how did you overcome them?
That's a good question. I feel like with what you see on America's Next Top Model, like how Tyra was on the show, is not really real.
Okay.
To an extent, it's not really real. Like of course, they have to be dramatic and have some little ginger to spice up the views and all that. But in reality, in some spaces, it is a little bit more tough, and that can come from like the requests of different designers, just depending on who they are and what they're looking for. Maybe they're more cutthroat. They don't really care about feelings. They just care about their designs and getting their pieces out there. I feel like as a model, you just have to know, like, sometimes your opinion doesn't really matter. when it comes to like how the designers and like how the shows are run. For example, if you are booked for a gig, sometimes if you're with an agency, they don't even tell you what you're going to be doing at the gig. They're just like, are you available on this day at this time?
Free balling, huh?
Yeah, you just have to be available. And they dress you and you go and do what they need you to do their poses, and you go home. You don't really get to say, oh, I don't like that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to wear this. To an extent, of course, you have to be able to say, if you don't want to do something not comfortable, you don't have to do it. But it's just like, this is premeditated. These are things that are already coordinated and planned. You're just the model, and that's all your job is to do. That's your role.
So there are some like challenges in the modeling industry, but like on top of that, adding another layer, being a dark skinned model, how is that for you? Like, I bet you probably have come across a bunch of like, I don't know, stereotypes or misconceptions about, you know, but share with us, like, what are some challenges as a dark skinned model that you face?
Definitely just that imposter syndrome.
Okay.
You know, I think that's one of the bit more general ones, that you just feel like maybe you're just not as good, or you're not, you know, as beautiful. But at the same time, I appreciate where we're moving to in this day and age, because, you know, for example, back in like 2012, there was that whole light skin versus dark skin era where people were really like comparing the two. But now, in this day and age, it's different. You know, people are more prone to like addressing and including Black women and darker skin tones. We have more makeup lines, like more makeup available for our skin tone. So it's like, as a model, when I would go to fashion shows or have photo shoots and I didn't know who the makeup artist was, or they weren't too familiar with how to do dark skin makeup, it would be difficult because they would do my makeup and I would be like, Ashy, yes. But I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom immediately. Thank God I know how to do a little one too, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, they will really set you up. Like, I'm dark. Why are you putting pink lipstick on me with no lip liner?
They trying to be different. I know.
Hey.
Looking like a baboon, man.
And
number one when you're a dark skin girl, you gotta get a lip liner.
You have to have a lip liner. And I will never forget, it was a Richmond Fashion Week show that I did, and they did that to me. And I wasn't as vocal as I should have been. And I was also like, well, I don't want to ruin their work. By the same time, it's like I had to think about myself to an extent. Like, I'm still going to be getting captured on the runway. I don't want to be looking crazy. So I should have went and like addressed my face a little bit more, but I didn't, because I was still pretty new to the Fashion Week industry world. So I didn't want to overstep boundaries, but as I continued to do more shows, I was like, yeah, no, y'all not about to set me up. So I would find myself often fixing my own makeup, but then also fixing some other girls in the bathroom, because they are all like, I don't even know how to do makeup, but I look crazy, you know, so yeah, it's been tricky.
Yeah, and I'm sure like there are a bunch of other dark-skinned models or aspiring models who are dark-skinned who want to get into the industry, but, you know, may not know anything about it. But like, what advice would you give to them?
I would definitely say go for it.
Okay.
And find someone that's already in the industry and ask them a few questions and see what they've done to prepare themselves. If you want to go towards being in an agency, what did you do to get into this agency? I think some of the things that as dark-skinned women we have to, if you want to get into modeling, and you want to go the agency route, definitely do your research on the different agencies that are out there and around you, and look at their roster that they have currently and see, okay, do they have diversity? Maybe they need some more diversity. Do they already have a dark-skinned model? Maybe they're looking for more, or trying to find places that cater to all types of models, you know, all different sizes. Other agencies are also really good to step into as well.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you, you kind of gave me like a little insight of like a highlight or memorable moment, which was the Fashion Week in Richmond. But can you share some other highlights or memorable moments that you had that you've encountered in like being a model in the modeling industry?
Yeah. So situations like in like fashion, like for fashion.
I don't know, just
weeks.
something like a memory that you look back and you either feel like you look back and you liked, or you look back and you're like, okay, this was a great experience for me.
Ooh, okay.
Or bad. Please give us the good and bad.
Okay, let's do a good one first.
Okay.
Dang, that's a good question. There's been so many. I would say collectively, all my photo shoots that I do, majority of them, where I'm working with like female dominated teams, those are some of my favorites to do.
Really? Why is
all
it?
of my shoots that I've done with like female photographer, makeup artist, hairstylist, like the whole team on deck is all women. No shade to the guys, but I'm just saying the ladies, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing, and it's always a good time. It's always very clean. It's organized. There'll be snacks. Like it's a good time, and I just love how I can see how creative different women are in different spaces. Like everyone plays their role and they play it well, and they're exceptional at what they do. And so at the end of the day, the shoots that we create come out amazing. It's always good results. Always good results.
Do you have a story of like something that happened, something that you could look back and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened during this, like while you were either modeling or at a fashion show?
Ooh.
Can you think of anything right now?
Good things?
Good and bad. I just want to know what happens behind the scene. Like I've never been to a New York Fashion Week or like behind the scenes when it comes to modeling. So I'm always very curious of like what goes down, like what's tea?
There be so much happening, especially like backstage, because everyone's ripping and running. Everyone's like trying to get their pieces together, getting in the order, like the line order for the show to get ready to walk out, getting dressed into the next look, so it's always like very fast paced. You just have to be ready. I've gotten yelled at before for moving too slow.
What?
Yeah,
By
that
who?
was one of the show directors. I remember it was like one of my very first shows, and this might have been in maybe 2016. And there was another DMV model who I went to school with. I went to college with her, and she was really into the modeling world, like international modeling as well. And she invited me to come with her to a show, and so that was maybe my second show ever. And I wasn't used to the fast pace and the chaos of everything going on. I was like, wait, what's going on? There's nipples flying, there's hands over here, like it was just a lot going on. Okay. So I remember I was getting dressed and I had 2 more looks. I just did my first look. I just did my first runway walk, came back, I'm getting changed, and I think I had misplaced one of the pieces I was supposed to be wearing. And then all of a sudden I hear this lady just yelling like, you need to be on your next look, like you need to be out right now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is too much. I can't even find the next piece. But I got it together. There were some assistants that came and helped me out, and we were moving. But in that moment, I was like, dang, I've never had anyone that wasn't my mother yell at me like, you're really loud. You're really loud. So, but yeah, that was an interesting moment. And that's when it hit me like, okay, so this is the type of time you need to be on. Like, this is an ongoing show. When you're not on the runway and when you're supposed to be, it ruins everything, So, yeah, that was definitely a highlighted moment for me. I was like, okay, this is what it is.
How about campaigns or projects? Is there anyone that you specifically are proud of to be a part of? Like you were proud to be a part of at some point?
Yeah, definitely. So I did a project with Marcus Blassingame, who is a stylist and designer in New York.
Nice.
He's worked with several celebrities, like I think Nelly Furtado, Mary J. Blige, etc. And so we did a campaign with Papi Ojo. And I don't know if you're familiar with like Beyonce's, I think it was The Colors, like she came out with a whole movie. It was like the movie where there was the guys dancing in the blue that were from Africa. One of them was from, cannot remember the dance group in Ghana, but Papi Ojo's also a really popular dancer in New York as well. He's Nigerian. And so him and I were one of the lead models in this project that we did the clothing for. We were working with a backpack brand. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's not coming to me right now, but it's gonna come back. Yeah, it's actually a really popular one, which I'm actually really sad I can't remember it. But that's probably one of the most prominent ones I've done so far. Yeah.
That you're really like proud of. You look back, you're like, oh, I'm so glad to have been a part of this.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah. It's a traveling brand, and it's very popular. It has like the mouth on it, like shark teeth. It looks like shark teeth. It's weird, but
it looks like
to
put us on.
Yeah. I will. I'm gonna send it to you so you can drop it in the chat.
Yes.
I'll send you the picture. Yeah, it's cool. It was cool.
It looks like you had a really fun experience being a model, and from what I'm hearing, I don't think you've really faced any had any bad experiences being a dark skin model because of how the industry is becoming more inclusive and promoting more diversity?
Yeah, well, I definitely will say I intentionally haven't joined any agencies. So I feel like me not joining agencies has kind of taken me in a route where I haven't had to face those kind of things because I haven't been put in that position.
Okay.
Maybe if I was a part of an agency, I may have experienced. I do have friends that have experienced certain things like that, where like maybe there'll be like a casting and they'll only choose light skinned models, or there'll be an agent or someone that contacts the agency looking for a specific type of model, but they'll be constantly overlooked because they're just not what they're looking for. And at the end of the day, like, you can't really do much about that. You know, if a brand or a company has a vision for whatever product they're selling and they're looking for a specific kind of person, that's it. You know, I've done shoots where they're only looking for dark-skinned women. I've had shoots where they're only looking for women with fros, big fros. And so it's like, okay, that's where I fit in. So I kind of see it in that point of view versus like they're against me because I'm dark, but that's not what it is. I'm looking for opportunities where I can be valued and appreciated, and my skin tone is appreciated, and they know how to work with me, you know? So I kind of think in that direction, so I don't really experience too much about that, or at least I haven't as of lately.
I like that view. I like the fact that you don't see it as a disadvantage, but more so maybe there's another opportunity that's perfect for me.
Exactly.
And this just isn't the one.
Exactly.
How do you stay confident in this fashion / modeling industry where the beauty standard has been set already?
Yes, that's a really good question. It's always mind over matter. I carry my confidence with me like I'm picking up my keys. I pick up my car keys, pick up my confidence, it's in my bag. Yeah, I'm not playing with that because I think that you have to really wear your confidence like a cloak. It adds on to your outfit, it adds on to your ambiance, your aura. People can feel if you're confident or not. And so I definitely try to maintain that, but sometimes it can be hard. I will not forget one time I was doing a casting in New York. It was back in 2020 before the world shut down. So this fashion, we're getting ready for Fashion Week where, you know, all the models are hustling and bustling. You're seeing different types of people everywhere, shapes and sizes, all skin tones, whatnot. But I just remember being in the line for the casting, getting ready to go up with my com card, and I'm looking around and I'm just seeing all these tall people. And I'm like low-key average, depending on who's asking. I'm 5'7.5". But yeah, like everyone's like 6 foot, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is crazy. But you have to have that confidence in your walk, in your stature, in your face. Give that energy up every time you present yourself on that runway. You're eating it up every time. And so, yeah, it can be daunting, you know, if you don't have that mental preparation. You are that girl, like you are that guy. You can do this. There's nothing that this next person can do that you cannot do. Right. You know, and so once you just put everything on the runway, forget about anything else, you're good.
True. That's good advice for an aspiring dark skin model, because they're definitely going to come a time where they need to really like embody that confidence because, you know, things come up.
It's true. So it's kind of like just tap into that alter ego, you know? Like if you have to lie to yourself a little bit, just lie to yourself.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Literally. I half don't like that phrase, but I half like it because just like, you know, I get it. Fake it till you make it. But at the same time, it's like, you shouldn't fake it though. Like this is real life. This is you. Like you really are that girl, you know?
Period. Well, sure, Rihanna do be faking till make it, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, Rihanna do, but you know, we're keeping it real.
All right, with that being said, we'll be right back to talk more about Shelly. Welcome back from our break. Shelly, you know one thing we forgot to do?
What?
Open this wine. Y'all, this is supposed to be whining with the big girls.
I'm like, I don't want to be opening it while we, you know, talking. I am clumsy.
But let me pour some for you.
Hold up. Wash it off all out.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love me some salsa. That's like one of my favorites.
It's smooth, sweet.
Tastes like juice.
Yes.
I like the semi-sweet though, not too sweet.
Oh, like not too sweet? Yeah, the sweet, like when it's too sweet, it gives you a headache. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
But anyways, cheers.
To a good conversation. And to Black women. Period.
And to Black women. So up until recently, there really hasn't really been inclusivity and diversity. But we're getting there slowly but surely, and you're proof of that because you are a dark skin model. But how do you promote inclusivity and diversity using your platform?
Oh yeah, that's a great question as well. So I am really big on creating my own lane, especially if I can find the lane that fits me best. So
that's not good advice.
Create my own lane. I'm driving full speed. No, this is not a crash course. You know what I'm trying to say? So I do a lot where I advocate for other dark-skinned models, models period, but I advocate where if I see someone that maybe has a brand, like a clothing brand, or opportunities where models could potentially model for that brand, I will plug in someone that I know that, maybe we've had a conversation and I know that you're looking for some more gigs to get some more exposure or to get more practice in front of the camera. I'm like a dot connector, so I'm always trying to find places for people to thrive and to like expose their skills. I started planning like fashion shows, so I did my first fashion show that I planned and directed back in college. Yes, in college. Yeah, it was actually for a class that we had, and then it turned into like a whole production, and it was insane. It was so much fun. But it was one of my African American studies classes. And shout out to Dr. Z from Virginia State. Shout out to her. Yeah, she's a real one. Yeah, she's a real one. She's a real one. So she had the idea to like go do a fashion show, and she needed help. So she reached out to me and a few other of my colleagues, and we put it together. And that was the first time I was able to really bring in like different Black-owned businesses, clothing brands to come together and to create something that was like first to be seen on our campus like that, because we did it outdoors. We did an outdoor fashion show on the campus.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was really, really cool. That was really cool to see, to make happen. But yeah, I'm really big on just creating spaces and like opportunities for models of my skin tone, to be able to excel and thrive.
I love that. I love that you, even though you're a model, you're also like presenting other opportunities for models that want to get into the industry and promoting diversity in that manner. But what other improvements or changes would you like to see in the industry regarding diversity?
I would definitely want to see more women of color on like beauty brands, especially. They're doing a lot better with that too now, but I think that they can still keep going. Women of color for beauty brands, like makeup lines, as well as on the runway. I'm so tired of seeing just dark-skinned women with short haircuts. It's like, or bald dark-skinned women. It's like they only want that look, and I don't know what the like desire is behind that in the industry.
I guess easy to manage hair. I don't know, because our hair can be tedious sometimes to handle or take care of.
Yeah, that's
But I do feel you though. What if I don't want to cut my hair and I want to be a model?
Exactly, and that's one of the things when I was watching like America's Next Top Model, I would always see. I'm like, they're always having to cut their hair or do something dramatic, like color it, and I'm like, what if I want to be able to have my full head of 4C hair and still be a successful model, So I have seen some examples of that, definitely, but I want to see more. That's one thing I would like to see more of.
Yeah.
Is that less of that bald cut, dark skin model phase. I want to see them grow out of that,
I also admire Victoria's Secret for including disabled models as well. They've completely changed their catalog. Well, not completely, but like the typical Victoria's Secret model is a tall blonde or tall white woman.
Yes.
And now I'm beginning to see some on the wheelchairs, some with different body shapes and sizes, some with bigger set, and I love that, But how do you feel about? Okay, so here's my question. People think that Victoria's Secret has a brand and has a certain look, and that certain look is the white woman because they want to sell their product, whatever.
Right, like a bombshell body.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but other people are like, why include these people who isn't Victoria's Secret's target audience? So they want they're more so, let's keep Victoria's Secret how it is. And this is coming from different type of women. Like I've heard Black women say it as well on TikTok, white women say it as well. They just feel like Victoria's Secret is moving away from their initial audience because they want to include people, and they're like, sometimes certain brands don't need that inclusivity. So how do you feel about that as a model?
That's an interesting take, and honestly with that, I appreciate them expanding to other types of people, not just your average 5, 6 whatever model with the breast and the body, but it's just like, you want to be realistic because you have these models coming down your runway, but you have real people in the stores buying your product. And so you want to always keep in mind, like, you're selling this, this is a selling point. And just because they're disabled doesn't mean they're less human. It doesn't mean they don't want to get sexy too, So yeah, you definitely should include them because honestly, they're looking at what Fenty's doing. Rihanna changed the game.
That is true.
She changed the game, so they have to keep up.
Yeah.
It may not be authentic to who Victoria's Secret model, the Victoria's Secret model is, or what the brand is, but times are changing, and people are also doing things that are being more inclusive. So it's just like, they're looking like, dang, like, yes, this is who we are, this is what we do, but at the same time, she's surpassing us simply because she's including everyone. She's gonna simply make those sales because she's not just picking on one specific type of woman, She's going for the more heavy set. She's going for that disabled look. Rihanna's definitely changed the game. Like, I'm going to purchase a Fenty lingerie set over a Victoria's Secret set, even though Victoria's Secret is...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
So like, she's thinking about me while she's making her product.
Exactly. It's made with love. It's made with passion, and it comes from a real place.
Yeah.
And so that's just how she's made it authentic to her. And so I still respect Victoria's Secret. I am a fan. Like, if I get to walk for that runway show one day, I would do it with flying colors. But it's just like, they have to come back to the story of who they are and why they're doing it, so.
Okay, so what about the people on the other end of the spectrum who feel like some of these models encourage them to get in the best shape of their lives? And, they would rather see a skinny model rather than a heavyset model, because the heavyset model that doesn't really push them or drive them to change.
Right.
Yeah. They want to look the best of the best. So how do you feel about that? Because you're more of you're what people would say a model build.
Yeah.
You got the model body.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, first of all, how do you feel about that mindset?
Well, I feel like at the end of the day, all that anyone else can be to you is just inspiration. No matter what they have on or what they're wearing, they can inspire you to get your body right, but that's about it. That's the farthest to an extent it can go, really. So, I don't know.
So it doesn't really make a difference.
No, I don't think
it's like, even if there's a heavyset model, okay, she doesn't inspire you, but I'm sure there's some other model out there who is more of a body type that you like.
But I think seeing like lingerie on a more heavyset model would inspire me in a different way, because it would allow me to say, wow, like, this is an individual that is super confident in their body. No matter what they look like, skinny or big, they are confident and they are rocking that well. So that would inspire me to be more confident. It doesn't matter what I look like, I'm still gonna be okay with what I'm in, And like, that's a mental thing, is to like look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm happy with what I see in the mirror.
Yeah. I like that. I like that intake, because I do admire women who are on the heavy set and wear bikini.
Yes.
I cannot, for the life of me, get myself to wear a bikini.
Oh my God, do it. Get that two-piece together, girl. Do it.
Because I feel like I need to be flat,
I feel
flat
you.
body, curvy shape for me to get in that bikini.
I feel you, but it's just
can't.
like, I don't know. The voluptuous body, the curves, there's beauty to it, it's you. So it's just like, you just have to embrace yourself a little bit.
I'm gonna get there. I'm working on it, y'all.
I got some tips for the flat tummy. Not the flat tummy tees like they used to do. No. This is natural things.
Yeah. She gonna give me that advice outside of here. I'm not trying to give you tips.
Yeah, that's a gem. That's too much.
Yeah, too much. I gotta pay to get it.
It's gonna subscribe.
Okay, so your personal style.
Yes.
How does your personal style inspire you as a model? Like,
oh my gosh, my personal style has definitely been changing over time, but I'm definitely getting to a place where it's very, I'm cultivating it. I'm like cultivating my look. but I'm moving into like a more modern, a more chic. I'm always gonna be very stylish, very style forward. I love colors. So it definitely adds to like my personality. I think I'm a pretty bubbly personality. I like neutrals, but if I can add color in the mix, I'm doing the pop of color. I like textures, I like patterns. And so yeah, it's pretty versatile. Like I can be chill, but then I can also, even when I'm chilling, I'm still low key like flexing. I can't help it.
You just a fly bitch.
Just a fly girl, you know, I can't help it. But yeah, like my personality definitely messes with like how my style is. I like furs. I like playful.
I love the jacket you wore earlier.
Yeah. I got that from a pop-up. So that was like one of I like to pull gems, you know. I think that building a capsule wardrobe is so important. And like just having a lot of timeless pieces that you can wear and like mix and match with other things. That's my go-to on like how to, you know, dress. Like this is a corset that I got from like H&M. This is a button-up cropped top. Completely got from like a different website, maybe I think Micah's. And so just like putting different looks together and just seeing how it comes out is like one of my favorite things about putting on clothes. Just dressing up.
I love it. I've seen a couple of your outfits, girl. You always eat.
Thank you.
One thing that my podcast is known for, or my podcast was built upon, was to encourage dark-skinned women to, you know, push us to love our skin and be more confident and to encourage us to put ourselves in spaces where we're mostly appreciated and loved.
Yes.
And one of my videos got a comment, and I just wanted to hear your insight of it, and also if you have any piece of advice as a dark-skinned woman to this young lady. So this young lady wrote that it has taken her years to accept her skin tone. I'm very dark and have endured years of criticism for it. I come from a culture, North Sudan, that emphasizes the beauty of light-skinned women particularly. And light-skinned, long hair, you know, curly hair, that kind of look. Dark-skinned men do get, she says, in her community, dark-skinned men get a lot of hate, but not too much. But dark-skinned women get treated like crap even more. You know, North Sudan is usually they're on the lighter spectrum.
Yeah, they're more lighter.
Yeah.
Down, they get darker.
Yeah, South Sudan is the more darker one. So she's in North Sudan. She's a dark-skinned woman. So it was extremely hard for her. She's like, anytime a high-status and attractive male chooses a dark-skinned female as his wife, auntie or older women, aunties or older women always talk crap about the women. They always look down on women saying that, you know, he needs a light, for someone who's that successful and handsome, he needs a lighter woman to enhance his look or something like that. She's like, I'm a dark-skinned woman and I was engaged in 2020 to a tan man, not light or dark, just brown. His sister and father were light. When he told his mom about us, she said, "Why is she so dark? Don't you think you could do better?" His grandma called me ugly and told me that his grandson is too successful to end up with a woman with her skin tone, and because her kids would be dark and ashy and burnt up due to her bad genetics.
And burnt up due to her bad genetics is
Burnt
crazy.
up, that's insane.
Wow.
She's like, I was too traumatized that I just had to leave the relationship. Even when it comes to babies, people here will make comments about the baby's skin tone as soon as the baby comes out of the womb. They think that black kids are only cute if they're light or mixed race. It's crazy because North Sudan is a black country itself and they hate themselves so bad. The grandma who had told me that I was too crusty for her grandson was dark herself. That is insane.
Oh my God.
It gets crazier and crazier. She's like, now I'm turning 30 and I really want to get married, but no man nor his family would accept me for my skin tone. Life as a dark-skinned woman in Africa is a nightmare unless you have money or a green card to make up for your cursed skin.
Wow. That is tough.
That's sad. She called her skin
sad.
cursed.
Yeah. The burnt comments, crazy. And the fact that it's coming from another dark woman is even more crazier.
Yeah, that's like self-hate.
Yeah.
What advice would you give her?
Oh my gosh. Well, that is really challenging. I would definitely say that there is nothing wrong with you at all. Your skin is amazing. It's amazing. And, considering that this family that you're preparing or we're preparing to marry into wasn't appreciating the woman that you are and the skin that you're in is a sign and a flag in itself. At the end of the day, despite what his family members say, it's all about the man and what he has to say and if he actually loves you for who you are. And even besides the man, it's about you and yourself at the end of the day. Do you love yourself for who you are? And if you love yourself, is this a situation that you want to put yourself in? Is this the type of environment and family that you want to be, a part of? But just knowing and believing and having that confidence in yourself and saying, yes, indeed, my skin is beautiful. And no matter what man I marry, my babies are also going to be beautiful too. Just having that knowing in your mind is really all you need. And that self-confidence, because people will really use their words to try to break you down. And that's one thing that I've had to learn to, get past is looking past what people have to say and focusing on what I know about myself. Once you have that understanding and that clarity of like, who you are, no one can tell you otherwise, no matter what they say. And so that is definitely not an easy situation to be in. It's not. And yeah, especially if you really love that man. It's just like, why would his family, open up and say something like that? But I definitely believe like instilling that mindset will definitely carry you through your situation.
Yeah. Oh, I just wish like every dark-skinned woman in this world would have the same confidence as you.
Yes.
And have the same self-image about themselves, like a good self-image about themselves, or high self-esteem. I feel like a lot of dark-skinned women have been broken down from a young age, and sometimes once you reach a certain age, it's so hard to, gain that confidence back. But that was great advice.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely agree. And I haven't always been this confident. Like when I was growing up, I was like in middle school, but like I mentioned, I do like the dark skin versus like light skin. I did have a best friend that was light skin, and sometimes she would even say things to me like, oh, he doesn't like you because you're too dark, or like, oh, you can't wear that because your skin is too dark, or oh, when we go out, you should probably, like, she would just make comments and I wasn't recognizing what was happening until I had to like reflect and look back on it, and I'm like, wait, this actually wasn't a cool girl, like she was not a good friend. But a lot of that hindered like how I viewed myself. Like I would even say things like, oh, like I'm not even African. It was that bad. And I didn't have anyone to tell me like, no, you're perfectly fine the way you are. Like you're being African is cool. Like they're trying to call you an African booty scratcher, trying to make it look like you're crazy for being African. Now all of a sudden, everyone wants to be African.
All want to be African.
Everybody wants a dark-skinned girl. Oh, dark-skinned girls are in, right? Now it's a trend. And it's so frustrating because I'm like, why is my skin tone a trend? That's so weird, But it got frustrating for some time, and I just had to really like talk to myself and like look at myself like, dang, I'm over here slowly turning on myself because of what this girl is saying to me, and that's making me think that I'm not qualified enough or I'm not wanted or sought after, and it's just like none of that stuff even matters at the end of the day, And that's why I focus so much on like the things how you speak to yourself and the things that you say to yourself. All of that matters.
Self-love, self-affirmation.
Yes.
Surrounding yourself around people who love you and love your skin tone, who love you entirely. And just go where you're celebrated mostly.
Yeah. And also like once you know who God has called you to be, there's nothing that anyone else can tell you or deter you from, It's like you have to follow what the will of God is for your life.
Right.
And once you know who God is, then you too will know who you are, because it's just like you are a child of God. Amen. And so he made you in his image and likeness. And so just that phrase in itself right there is enough to say, if God made me and how he created me to be, I'm perfect. There's nothing else that can go on.
Amen to that. Well, y'all heard it here. Thank you so much, Shelly. And that advice was really nice. And I hope she sees this video. I wish I could tag her.
I hope so too. Yeah. I really do. I will keep her in prayer. My heart goes out to her.
I know. It's so crazy how what people go through on a day-to-day basis that we don't really think about.
Yeah.
But Anyways, I'm glad that we've overcome that challenge. And
Yes.
we are here loving our skin. We hope that you guys love and embrace your skin for what it is, because it is beautiful. Like she said, we're made in the likeness of God's image. So love your skin and who you are. With that being said, y'all, we are going to end it here. Thank you so much, Shelly, for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It was such a good time.
Yes. So I hope you come back again.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be back.
Y'all, don't forget to follow Shelly on Instagram. I will leave her name on the screen. And also follow me on Instagram at Rynakinggpodcast. And hit the like button. The algorithm likes when you guys hit the like button. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.